hard in this business.
Nah. Hey, everything recording? Got it. What's up? Thank y'all for joining us again for another episode of Toast to the Goodfellas. We're on episode 29 here at EQ Recording and Multimedia in downtown Fort Myers. Shout out to Josh Baker in the recording room. Thank you for recording for us, bro. It's been a minute.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. Alan, it's been a minute since we actually been in the studio.
Dude, we've been creating so much content that we forgot that we do interviews too. You know what I mean? So I'm like, man, we got to get back in the studio.
Yeah.
We got a really special guest tonight.
Absolutely.
I'll let you introduce him. That he finally agreed to come on the show. It's been like a year.
Don't make me sound pretentious.
We've been trying to get Ralph on for about a year now. So
yeah, it's been a minute.
We finally made it happen, man. It's about to be a good episode, bro.
Like
so
when y'all blow up, hit me up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know if we're there yet, but you know what? I think we're building some good momentum. So I'm happy where we're at.
I think you guys have come longer. I think you've come farther than y'all think, and it's not really about the followers. It's really about the progress and the execution. I think you guys are doing that really well. So congrats. Toast to that.
Appreciate that.
I poured one out for myself, man.
So as you can see, we have our guest here. His name is Rafael Feliciano. You've probably seen him around somewhere in Southwest Florida because he's always doing big things. But he actually is the owner of Main Course Hospitality. So, Ralph, you want to tell us a little bit about what Main Course Hospitality is and what you do?
This actually interview comes at a good time because Main Course Hospitality is a revamp of a prior company. So it's revamped, it's upgraded. Main Course Hospitality, at its core, it's an event and marketing agency, predominantly for hospitality clients. And then during COVID, as we pivoted, we started getting into business development, equity partnerships, venture capital. We started taking new concepts and franchising them. So we really encompass a lot of things under hospitality now. That's our niche. Mm-hmm. And we eat and drink for a living. And,
The biggest thing that I really loved about you and your page is the food that you promoted, bro. I'm not gonna lie, man. The food, those up close shots, man. Like every time I see this man's story or like any one of his social media pages, bro, immediately I get hungry, bro. Immediately, I'm like, damn.
Yeah, he was definitely my go-to for finding out what the hottest restaurant or what a good place to go would be, whether I'm taking someone out on a date or I just want to have a good time. And it's crazy. I wouldn't even hit him up sometimes. I'm like, yo, nobody knows about this, and I'll go there and boom, he's there already, just having a good time. I'm like, damn, Ralph is everywhere.
Hey, Ralph is like who's a really good point guard in the NBA right now, like very assist.
Damian Lillard.
Lillard. He's like the Damian Lillard of food, bro, in South Florida, dog. Ralph time. It's Ralph time, bro. It ain't Dame time. It's Ralph time.
Appreciate it. I'll take it.
So, Ralph, what would you say is your biggest accomplishment so far?
True story. So, biggest accomplishment is my mom and my mom and dad. They are immigrants to this country. My mom's Filipina. My dad's Puerto Rican, but he came here not knowing a lick of English, not knowing anything, and he knew not knowing anything in business. And recently, my mom said that because of my journey through entrepreneurship, that she's now ready to take the risk and start her own business. Wow. So if you take it from someone that comes here from a third world country like the Philippines, and to them, entrepreneurship is literally, all pun intended, it's a foreign thought. Like for them, you come here to the States, you make a salary, you work, you go to school, you work, you retire, you have a family, and that's it. Now you have someone like her, who through my ups, through my downs, through what you may call successes, she has the courage. Watching me has given her the courage to say, okay, I'm talented at something. I want to go do it. Mm-hmm. This is the land of the free. This is America. Let me go give it a try. Mm-hmm. So, we can talk about plaques, we can talk about magazines, we can talk about all those things, but, to be able to look at my mom and my brother and my pops, who also wants to start his own business, and go like, man, I've given them that confidence. Mm-hmm. That speaks to me on levels that you can't measure. Yep. It's a feeling that's like, man, like, because fear is a big thing, right? So if you can do something that can make someone feel fearless, you feel like you've accomplished a lot. Absolutely. Even if it's just one person. So, that's to me, that's my biggest accomplishment.
But as we all know, like entrepreneurship is not as like because people. Here's the thing: people preach entrepreneurship like, "Yo, you should go and own this. You should do your own thing." But as you can attest, it's really not that easy. It ain't all sunshines and rainbows, right?
No. I think what people, I think I always put entrepreneurs in two different categories, in a few categories, but one of them is someone that's, really creative. And sometimes when you're really creative, you don't have a business acumen. And the second category is someone that is really talented on something very specific. Mm-hmm. So when you're talented at something very specific, you don't know how to execute that into a business. Yeah. So that's the one thing with entrepreneurship they don't teach you. Like, there's a lot of very talented people out there mm-hmm. that are talented, especially in their industry and their craft. Mm-hmm. But how many of them know how to take it to monetize it, how to take it to the next level? Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest with you, we learned the hard way. I learned the hard way. It's absolutely been a trial and error. A lot of people are afraid to use their money, or they're afraid to take the risk. Like, we lost thousands of dollars of our own money learning how to do things the right way. We're huge on education, but education don't teach you that. This isn't a graph. This isn't a model that you you practice in school. This is real life. Like, you're using real dollars and cents. So no, entrepreneurship's not pretty. And I think what I appreciate with you guys and what you guys have done through your podcast is, you interview people and have real conversations, and it's not just the fluffy side of things. And, every day it's a grind. And the reality of our business is if we don't wake up and we don't get to work, mm-hmm. we don't receive income and we don't get paid. Like, it's absolutely 100% like there's point A and it gets you to point B. Like, there's no in between on that. And I think entrepreneurship's, and I don't think people like the idea of entrepreneurship, and I think the word itself has become a fad. Mm-hmm. But there's a difference. Our company, we have employees, we have staff, we have team, we have partners. Mm-hmm. There's a difference from someone that's a contractor on their own receiving a check, and there's a difference from someone who writes the check. I write the check, and when you write the check, you have responsibilities that other people aren't willing to take. Mm-hmm. Like, we have over $1 million in overhead. We have X amount of employees. We have payroll. We have, if our team doesn't receive a check, think about this. So we have our team members, right? So mm-hmm. if someone in our team doesn't receive their check, they don't pay their bills for those 2 weeks. That pressure goes to the owner of that business. So if you're thinking about entrepreneurship, it's great to think as a sole entrepreneur, but there's a difference from a solo entrepreneur and someone that is operating a company and operating a team. And like, I'm still 100% being very honest and transparent. Leadership never stop. You never stop learning leadership. You never stop figuring that out. And I'm still figuring out the whole company aspect, because you might be able to run a team of 5 or less people, but then when you go from 5 to 10, let's just say if every person's making $45,000 a year, mm-hmm. then you times that by 5 people, and you go from 5 people to 10 people. How do you scale that? How do you take those? How do you know when you have enough income to take on that payroll? Or these are things that entrepreneurs don't see and they don't think about. Yeah. There's also insurances. There's also these things that, like I said, I can speak on it because I learned it. You don't realize that if you pay someone $45,000 a year, you're actually it costs the business an additional 15%, 20% on top of that mm-hmm. to carry that employee. Like, those are things they don't teach you because no one really goes through that. And I think, there is 2 levels of entrepreneurship. There's solo entrepreneurship, and then there's, running, having a company and teams and staff, mm-hmm. and that's a whole nother level. So it's not butterflies, it's not rainbows, but if you can get through it, the journey it's great. It's great. It's fulfilling. It's rewarding. Mm-hmm. You're watching people grow. You're growing. So it depends on your industry. You're growing businesses. I mean, it's cool.
Let me ask you something. Do you feel like you made it?
No.
When do you make it then?
Man, that's a very personal question. I think, and I never say I, because I understand that there's only so much I can do, and our team really fills in the spots, and they fill in the gaps. But I would say that you know you made it based on very simple items. What's your goal? Have a goal. Have a timeline to reach your goal, and then execute to reach your goal. And I know that the goals that we set for ourselves as a company, based on businesses that we've acquired, based on our own kind of development of some projects and some programs that we're working with right now, they're not at the level that we have strived for the execution, so therefore we're not there yet. But that's like the business side. On the personal side, I think that, and I'll be very honest, I think a level of me says that there is a financial aspect of where you want to hit this certain point, because money's a tool, right? So if you can use finances as a tool and you hit a certain level and you can use that tool to grow and do better things, that's when you reach that success. But all in all, to answer your question, no, we're not there. And B, it really depends on like what you target as your goal. You know, so, and we haven't reached those things yet, and I think we know what our ceiling is, and we are just scratching the surface, especially from COVID. COVID was one of the best things that happened to our business, so we're so far from our goal, but it feels good to be making strides, for sure.
Absolutely.
I always believe in, like, sorry to interrupt you, bro.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I always believe in celebrating progress. You know, I think that overall, like, when you celebrate progression, it kind of like clears your mind to be like, okay, you know what? I'm doing things right. I'm confident in myself. I'm going to keep going with it.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
I think that when I was younger, I used to muscle through everything. Like, if there was a problem, you muscled through it. If you're sick, you muscle through it. If you're struggling with something, you muscle through it. However, what I've learned, thankfully, because my circle of people that I spend time with has helped me see, is that small victories are really important. Like, they're really important.
Yeah.
And, you know, for someone that's muscled through everything, you really have to create chapters and finish and like, you know, in a marathon there's different levels. You really got to create those things, and you got to celebrate it when you reach it, because if you don't, you're constantly going to be looking back, just thinking to yourself, you know, what's next? So it's really good to look back and see that you've hit certain milestones. 100,000%. I would have never said that a few years ago when we started this business, but I think even now, like weekly milestones, monthly milestones, I think that's really important to celebrate. And celebration is a very subjective word. I'm not sitting here saying you pop a bottle every Friday, you know, but I'm saying that, you know, like, you know, you pat yourself in the back and you give a pat when a pat is due. So
yeah,
milestones and little wins are important.
Absolutely. So based upon your experience, where do you think in the timeline of Ralph was the time in which you decided, you know what, I'm going to take this risk?
Always and forever.
There wasn't any specific moment in time where you could think that you maybe were afraid, and then you were like, you know what, I'm just going to do it.
So, yeah, actually, it's interesting. I actually just had this conversation recently. Back in like 2011, 12 maybe, I was a full-time bartender. And I at that time, I dropped out of college already. I was bartending, and there was an opportunity with the company I was working for to travel around the United States and be a traveling bartender / corporate trainer. And it meant that I was going to be gone for a year. And I don't know what it was, but I just said, F it. Like, let's just go. And everyone, my mom, my family, my friends were like, what are you doing? Like, I'm going to be traveling, and I don't know when I'm coming back. And that was the moment when I came back after experiencing different people, different cities, and what the things they had to offer, and just kind of seeing the world from a different perspective rather than just being trapped in this box of, like, the area that you live in. When I came back, I would say that year-long trip made me realize, like, you know what do I have to lose? If you're going to bet on yourself, I always felt like I can get a job doing anything, or I could, especially at the time as a bartender, I could pack up my bags, move anywhere, and get a bartending job anywhere. So I really felt like I had nothing to lose. I had nothing to lose. I had everything to gain. And, you know, I mean, if you look at your realistic circumstances, I had no kids. I didn't have any real assets that I had to worry about. So, but, you know, some people might think of that as, they might measure that as a risk and reward. But for me, it was always like, if I don't do what's on my heart and on my mind, I'm going to kill myself. Like, it's going to bother me forever. And that's really what it was. I think that trip really solidified it for me. And ever since then, even looking at it now, I mean, right now our business is, in truth, we're doing a lot of great things, and we have a lot of great things in front of us. And they're all, you know, some of them are risky, depending on who you talk to. But it's you weigh those things, you measure those things, you make the best decision possible. But if you had to ask me, I'd say, if we don't do it, it's going to bother me. Like, we have to do it. And I think the idea of staying up at night and having that regret is bigger than, I mean, look, like, you know, I was able to be fortunate enough to build a business from scratch. I was able enough to make good partnerships and good relationships. So if I've done it once, the idea in my head, no matter what, if the business stopped tomorrow, I would say that we can build something else again. We can redo it over. And that's a confidence that I don't know if a lot of people have. But we're willing to bank on ourselves 100% every single time.
Yeah, the ability to take that risk and to bet on yourself is not something that is a very common trait. And you see it everywhere when it comes to, like, you know, those talented people that you're talking about, having so much talent, but, you know, afraid to show it to the world.
Yeah.
And things of that nature. And I think one of the things that me and Alan preached, or at least, you know, we tried to consistently put the message out, at least here in Southwest Florida, is to always make sure that no matter what you do, you take that risk on yourself.
Yeah, you know, like, I'm going to say this because it's been something that I've been quoting for a long time now, is everyone has an opinion until it's time to do it themselves.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, everyone can tell you how to run your business. Everyone can give you ideas. Everyone can do this. But, you know, when it's time to put your money where your mouth is, who's doing it? And I think that's the difference. That's what separates. And I think, like I said, it's not just me, it's our team, but I think we're willing to put our money where our mouth is because we know that we can jump into any industry. We can jump into a lot of things and be really successful at it because we've already done it. So, you know, that's what it is. Like, just, it's a fear thing. You got to eliminate that stuff.
But you know what kind of gets me thinking, too? It's like, okay, you've heard of the saying, insanity is like, the definition of insanity is like doing things over and over again and expecting a different result, right?
Yeah.
It's that, and then there's a saying of, oh, well, quitters never win, winners never quit. So both are kind of like, damn, which one do I listen to? And I think, personally, for me, that's where I struggle with. You know, like, okay, you know, everything they're going to put into this podcast, is it going to be worth it, you know? Or am I doing it, or do I know that, hey, listen, it's time to kind of, like, pivot or try something else? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I struggle with that sometimes. And I feel like when a lot of people trying to develop their own business plan, they struggle with that exact same thing too. Like, damn, is it time to quit or is it not time to quit?
I'm going to answer it in two ways, right? So I think, first and foremost, you really need to ask yourself who's around you to tell you your shit's good. Like, let's be honest. Like,
I don't want anybody to tell me it's good. I want people to be honest with me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So having, like, a really strong circle, when I say strong, I'm not talking about people that are supportive. I'm talking about people that are giving you the real deal, Holyfield. Like, this is what it is, where you can improve on, and avenues that you're missing. I think that's the first thing. I think the second thing is track and measuring. It wasn't until, you know, I started working with a particular person that I really understood the data, and I understood how important it was to track and measure. And you know, why do you think AI technology, and I mean, this sounds like I'm going left field, but hear me out. Like, why do you think AI technology is so successful? It's because they're using, like, real results, right? Real data and real results. Yep. And I think we can learn from that as a human species. Like, we should be able to look at data and go, this is working, this is not working, and how long am I willing to watch this not work before I make a change? And I think very, very truthful is that I think a lot of entrepreneurs are very emotional about their business and about their ideas. And when you're emotional about that, you do cage yourself in sometimes. And I think if you can eliminate the emotions out of it and look at it from like a real business perspective, almost cold-hearted, then you can go, this is working, this is not working. And then that's when you can, it doesn't become a hard decision to make. It becomes data-driven. This works, this doesn't work, this is working, let's do more of that. And if you take the emotions out of it, forget it. Forget everything else. Because if data's telling you the truth, why listen to your emotions?
You know, you just reminded
Because it feels good? Because it's a dopamine hit?
You just reminded me of like poker. Like, I feel like when people get too emotional in poker, I mean, we've been playing a lot of poker lately.
Yeah.
You know, you make
You
make these type of decisions.
I see y'all, but
that are
think
very
about
questionable. You know,
Yeah,
kind of
like,
like this. You can correlate it to like entrepreneurship too. You know,
So
like
look at it,
sometimes
like-
those emotional decisions are not the best.
So look at it.
decisions to make.
Let's go ahead and let's merge poker with business, right? So
All right.
you're at the poker table and you're on a
Okay.
run. You know, you're on a run. You know what that feels like? That feels like you're not missing. You feel like the universe is working in your favor. And then if you're too greedy, or if you don't make a decision at the right time, you lose a big hand, and it brings you back to reality because you got emotional. And you know, I think that in business, and I am a huge factor of it, because in the very beginning, up until very recently, I've been very emotional about our business because, you know, a lot of these things we built from with our hands, with our blood, sweat, and tears. But what matters at the end of the day are data and dollars and cents. That's it. That's all that matters. And you might have entrepreneurs that sit here and tell you otherwise, but look at their bank account, or look at where the company's at, or ask what their long-term goals are. Only thing that matters is data and dollars and cents. Like. That's the only thing that matters. Now, I mean, obviously, you know, you can get into other conversations. You can say, are you doing good? Are you not? I mean, there's all those. But at the end of the day, it's results, right? Results is the only thing that matters to clients. The only thing that matters to people. It's the only thing that matters to your business. Because if you don't have results, you're not going to sustain. That's it. So everything else for the birds. Man, this feels good.
Hey man, this tequila's hitting, bro.
Yeah, I agree. You know, that to a certain extent, I do believe. You know, I definitely believe in terms of data, it will drive, you know, good decisions. Taking emotion out of business decisions specifically will definitely, you know, help the longevity of your business and keep you trending in the right direction. But me personally, I feel like at a certain point, like, I don't want to have to be that cold-hearted person when it comes to business.
I don't mean, and to be very clear, like, I don't mean cold-hearted. I just mean that, you know, you have to be able to eliminate things that are feelings and things that are factual, right? And I think that I've seen it in some things that I invested in. I've seen it in some friends that have businesses, and I've seen it, you know, time and time again. Sometimes you get in a situation where you feel for something, but a feeling, it doesn't always translate into facts or data. And it just, if you're not going to be the person with good self-awareness to be able to look at something and go, okay, this is what it is, then you need to have a very strong circle around you of people that are going to tell you the truth. And you're not always going to like it, but it's so cliche when people say, you know, keep your circle around you with the people you want to be with, but that's really the truth, you know. And I think that we have been very successful in the sense of making relationships with people that are extremely successful, that offer a lot to the table. And you know, I watched something. I was watching the All-Star game, NBA All-Star game, and
who watches that anymore, bro? Come on, seriously.
Anyways, I watched it, right?
Game, bro.
And someone said something about, you know, what good is Kobe if he didn't learn from Jordan? And what good is Steph Curry if he didn't learn from Kobe, right? So, and it just like, it transitions. Like, that's what these players are for, you know? Like, you look into them and you go, I learned something from them. So what good would your business be if you didn't actually use your resources and learn from someone else? You would be You would be shooting yourself in the foot. It's like driving handicap. So, we take all that into consideration, and we don't try to recreate the wheel. You try to see what's been successful and what's working, and apply it. Yeah. And I think in entrepreneurship, when I first got started, I felt like I had to start everything from scratch. And then when you realize, like, the world's a big place, business is a big industry. Yeah. There's a lot of people that have done things before you. So try to take a little bit from everyone and make it your own.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say is some advice you would have to someone that's maybe in high school right now, doesn't really know what they want to do, don't really have a plan, but they know they don't want to be, just a average Joe? That
and hold on, if you could remember this, can I ask a two-part question to that? Or you need to answer that first?
I can hear the tequila in our voices.
I'm drinking bourbon, bro.
What advice do you have for somebody who's like in the corporate world right now, kind of like struggling, with their daytime job, and like, okay, maybe they should pursue something, taking the leap of faith in a way, kind of like how you did, So you can answer Nick's question first about the high school kid, but like,
So Nick's question, the high school kid, what I would say is, you have like come to the self-awareness to realize you have nothing to lose. You can, think, okay, so I'm 32. The business could crash tomorrow, and I still have 8 years till I'm 40. 8 years, you can do a whole nother business. Mm-hmm. And then from 40 to 50, you can do a whole nother business. From 50 to 60, you can have a whole nother business. If you look at it from 10 years at a time, I have 4 businesses in 40 years that are still in front of me. So I would say as a high schooler, I would say that first and foremost, understand that you can recover. Like, you can recover. Mm-hmm. And I think, why do we fear and play safe? You can recover. If I can recover at 32, 42, 52, you can recover at 18, 19 years old. Flat out. And honestly, you have more resources to recover than I do right now, currently. You have loans, you have financial institutions that'll pay for things, you have your parents if they're nice enough, you can couch surf, you can do all these things. So for high school kids, take the risk, do anything and everything, because at that age, like, it really is an experience thing. You don't have to be successful in your early 20s. You just have to learn some things, Yeah. And then I would say for people that are in the corporate world, actually, and I know that question very well because I know some people, like your company.
We've had this conversation,
right? So
several times.
I would say that people from the corporate world have something that entrepreneurs don't. They have structure. They know what SOPs are. They understand P&Ls. They understand employees. They understand HR. They understand deadlines. So take that into consideration. Most people that get into entrepreneurship, they don't have that type of discipline because it was never pushed on them. So if you're coming from the corporate world, you have a base foundation of structure that most people don't have. You are already 50% of the way, because as an entrepreneur, you got to develop discipline. Yeah. You got to develop SOPs. You got to develop systems. You got to learn. Maybe you might have to learn finances. And you have to learn your books and things like that. Those are some things that a lot of corporate people had to acquire based on education or based on the company that they work for. So look at yourself as a head up. And a lot of times, if you come from a corporate company, you might have a network, you might have relationships. I hear it a lot because I have a lot of friends that are in the corporate world, and I think I just read this quote on Instagram is that, a salary is the death of your ambition. And really what it meant was just, and it's not saying that salaries are bad, it was just saying that, if you are an entrepreneur, or if you're someone that works in the corporate world, you get stuck on a salary and that becomes your stability and your base foundation. But really, your base foundation should be the principles that you learned working in the corporate world, because you can apply that to anything and be successful. So it's a risk reward thing. It's betting on yourself.
Yeah, I don't think enough people hear that advice about like the corporate world. Well, not advice about like the positives of it, because everybody shits on it, bro. Everybody's like, yo, you shouldn't be doing this. It's like everybody's saying like, yo, you should definitely, you know, take the risk and take the leap of faith and not work for anybody and work for yourself. But they don't talk enough about the benefits of that, which you highlighted, bro.
Just think about that statement alone, right? Like an entrepreneur takes the risk because they're knowing that they're not losing anything. Someone from the corporate world takes a calculated risk because that's something that they're accustomed to. If you, let's just say you're an investor, right? And you have someone pitching you two businesses, or I'm saying you have two people pitching you the same business. You have someone that's extremely passionate, super creative, but has no idea what they're doing. Or you have someone that, you know, comes from the corporate world and looks at everything from a very, you know, from a structure, I need to have things in play. You could bet on both and be successful, but, you know, a lot of times you might lean towards someone from the corporate world because they're adding structure. Or you can even argue that the person that's a creative just needs structure and you can provide it. But I don't think there's a wrong or right answer. I just think that people that are creatives that don't come from a structure, from a corporate world, they have a great opportunity, and you should look into that. And people from a corporate world should say, hey, this is my skill set. This is what I bring to the table. I think both work. And I don't think there's a wrong. I don't think there's a right. I don't think there's something that leads more than the other. I just think you have to recognize your strengths. You need to recognize your strengths. And people from the corporate world, that's their strength. That's their strength. They have years of experience of how to do things. Don't ignore that. Apply that.
So I want to bring it back to young Ralph, because we already know Ralph now he's pretty successful. He knows what he's doing. But young Ralph, you know, he's still learning the ins and outs of things. So I kind of want to go back to when you were in college. What would you say your strengths were at that time?
So when I was in college,
Ralph. I'm already thinking what Ralph would say.
So when I was in college, okay, I'm gonna say this because it's my strength now, and it was my strength in college, but it wasn't something you would consider a strength back then, right? So I have an ability, a very natural ability to meet people, to network with people, and connect people. And in college was very social for me. I was a very social person. But I also did things, you know, I was like, you know, I did student government, and I was a senator for college, blah, 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 blah. And for me, that was like very experience based, because I was very social, I was very interactive. But when you get into the real world, I mean, all of our company's opportunities have been based on a relationship we made, a network that we came into. People don't work with us unless they like the people they're working with. Whether it's me, or it's Sean, or it's Melvin, or it's this person or that person. People want to work with people they like. Let's just stop the bullshit. Like let's cut the crap. Like, people really like working with people they like, and people that so for us, we don't do business with anyone unless we feel like you have a good moral compass, you are talented at something, you know, like you have to bring something to the table, and, you know, we feel that, you know, there's a good relationship between both parties. So in college, I was really good at networking. I was really good at meeting people, and I was really good at making, whether I was recruiting for the frat or I was, doing something for student government, or I was even doing something for myself, or, club promoting, or whatever it was, people was what I was really good at. And I think that transitioned over into our business because that's something that I strive in. I strive in relationships. I strive in connecting the dots. And I strive in finding where opportunities may lie, like the things that are in between. And that's something that happened. That was me in college. And little did I know that, networking and just being social was something I was going to use in the real world, and it's the truth. It's really what's worked out best for us.
To me, that outweighs the money, because a lot of people would choose, it don't matter about me connecting with other people or liking other people. I want to make money. Nah, man, I'd rather work with people I like. Like, for example, I wouldn't be doing this podcast if I didn't like Nick. We wouldn't have hired Pat if we didn't like Pat. I wouldn't be living with Mel and Solid if I didn't like them. We wouldn't even have you on if we didn't have felt some type of way, because every guest that we've had at least met them at least once.
But think about it. So take that to another level, because what you said is the level that you're at right now. Now, take that. Let's say Pat. Let's say he owns a franchise of XYZ businesses. Mel owns his company. Let's say Nick does this. Whatever. Now that your circle of influence is higher, now it becomes a much different conversation. So it really is who you surround your people with, who you surround yourself with.
Absolutely. And I wanted to ask you that because I know you're definitely the person that his biggest strength is being able to bring people together. And I just wanted to highlight that because I've seen ever since I met you, you always had the ability to bring people together, even if they didn't want to be brought together. And I think that to have that ability to influence people like that is very beneficial, not only in business, as you can see with your success now, but it's just beneficial of being a good person.
Man, be a good human being. Like, I really want to throw an F-bomb. Like, be a good fucking human being. Like,
say it, bro. This is a no filter.
Just be a good human being, right? So, and sometimes that doesn't always. Being a good human being may not seem like the right answer, but it always is. Yeah. Like, just do good.
There's different metrics in being a good human being. Yeah, like, you have a different metric of like what a good human being 100%. Is. Me and Nick. Like,
I'm not sitting here saying like throw $20 into the pot every Sunday. I'm just saying like have your moral compass in order. That's it. Yeah. And some people don't, some people do, but we personally like to work with businesses and partners that have that type of aspect in their, I guess you would say, repertoire of options. But just be a good person, and everything else comes together. So
who are you working with right now in the area then?
Currently, I can't tell you all that. But
come on, bro. You didn't know that you're supposed to spill the beans on our show? Like, come on. This was the platform.
No, but let me tell you something I learned. Right? So, originally, our business was built on having people be insightful on our life and our next moves and, just having people be a part of things. What I learned in the last 6 months is that we make more waves in silence than we do telling people everything. Because here's what happens. When you tell everyone your next move, not only are you giving the recipe away, you're giving the sauce away, but you're also asking for bad juju. You're also asking for haters. You're also, and don't get me wrong, like, I've been very fortunate, I've been very blessed to have a lot of great, we've had accolades, we have awards, we've had, a lot of great things come our way, but, sometimes people get tired of that shit. Yeah. Sometimes people get tired of saying congratulations, and sometimes it's better to just relax, keep your mouth shut, and just work on the back end. And I think that, that's really important. And I think that social media has created this avenue of us wanting to tell people what we're doing, and that's not always the case. So I think we've been very fortunate to live both lives. We've lived the life of telling people what we're doing, and now we're living the life of working like the G in lasagna. Like, we're working in silence. And I think that has, that's where we're at right now. And I'd rather come out of nowhere, come from left field and be like, oh my God, they're doing that, and they've been working on that for the last 9 months, than telling you every step of the way the things we've been working at. And that's a personal thing. But, we learned it the hard way. We watched it. Social media is a tool, just like money is a tool. And, use it. You use it as you may.
I feel like it's worked for us. Yeah,
for sure. I want to ask you another question. This one's going to be related to Southwest Florida as a whole, because we've all been in Southwest Florida for quite a long time, at least in my young adult life. How do you see Southwest Florida as a whole in terms of its overall growth, and how it relates to your business that you operate right now?
I think Southwest Florida is the future. I think that we have so much room to grow. And okay, let's talk hospitality, right? So in hospitality, Southwest Florida is 10 years behind, 5 to 10 years behind most of the big cities, right? So big cities, we say A cities: New York, LA, Chicago, Miami. B plus cities, or B cities, you have like Asheville, Charleston, Cincinnati. C cities, you have Southwest Florida, you have Seattle, which might be a B city. But anyways, so Southwest Florida, we're in this area where, I said this earlier, you don't have to recreate the wheel. You just find out what's popping, what's hot. Bring it to this area, because it's going to come here anyways. So I look at our area, truthfully, as a huge opportunity. The reason why I'm a big city guy, like, I really like being in the city. I love going to Toronto. New York's my favorite city in the world. But the reason why our business is here is because there's so much opportunity here. You look at Southwest Florida and you look how behind we are, and you can either wait till the wave comes, or you can actually ride the wave. And I think our business is riding the wave. Whether it's our business, whether it's our clients, I think that we are looking at Southwest Florida as there's a void, and we are filling the opportunity. And that's what I think. And I really love that the young people here have an opportunity to distinguish themselves. I mean, if our company was in New York City right now, let's just say, take COVID out of the equation. If we were in New York City, we would be battling multiple, maybe hundreds of companies that are maybe doing things that are similar, if not better than what we're doing. But in Southwest Florida, you have an opportunity to be a big fish in a small pond. We used to not say that because, that's kind of like, it was kind of something that we felt was a secret, but it's not a secret now. A, it's not a secret, and B, if you think it's a secret, well then let's go toe to toe and compete with us, because competition is extremely healthy, and we're willing to put our money, we're willing to bet on ourselves more than most people are willing to bet on themselves, and that's the nature of our business.
Absolutely. So on our show we have this tradition: every time we have a guest, our last question to them is to make a toast.
Oh, look at me!
Pour me up one. There you go. Hey, we're gonna have to. So for this toast, we're definitely gonna have to like raise our.
Damn, man.
We take glasses.
Try to get me lit.
Nah, bro, we good, man. We good. We got to speak into existence that we're good.
I am good.
All right.
Damn.
Exactly. I'm good.
So, tradition. We got to make a toast. Well, this is going to be for you. You got to make a toast to Southwest Florida, and you got to leave them with some sort of piece of advice. So, are you ready? I'm going to ask you the question again, and when I'm done asking, you flow with whatever the first thing.
This is a straight freestyle, bro.
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
All right.
I'm toasting Southwest Florida.
I got you.
Okay.
If you could make a toast to the people of Southwest Florida, what piece of advice would you want to leave them with?
So first, my toast to Southwest Florida is to the younger people that are looking to make Southwest Florida home long term. And my toast is that we keep growing, we keep creating, and that we keep pushing the envelope and not letting people, not letting opinions, not letting anything steer our direction, and that we keep moving forward. We keep our head down, and we keep moving forward to creating what Southwest Florida will become. And that's my toast to Southwest Florida.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to that. Cheers to that. Cheers to that.
All right, Ralph. So tell the people where can they follow you, your business, and the people you're associated with.
So if you Rafael J. Feliciano on all social platforms, and our company is Main Course Hospitality. However, I will say that our business we're making a lot of moves. Like the G and lasagna, like we are the business that likes to be in the back end. But if you follow Main Course Hospitality, you'll get to see some of our brands, some of our partners, some of the things that we're working with, and if you have any inquiries, feel free to reach out. We'd love to bring people on. We love to develop, whether it's businesses or people, but we really like to make things grow, and that's where we shine, and that's where we love to help people shine. And reach out to us. Let's go do something cool, do something dope.
You poured me a double shot, right?
Yeah, 100%. I've been drinking tequila straight for at least 2 hours.
So, do you have any events, things that we should know coming up that we should keep
I would
our eye
say,
on?
because I know that the world is changing with COVID, and just being very conscious of that, I would say just follow our pages. You'll see what's going on. We have some festivals coming up. Our clients have some big events. We're working on some really big projects, and just watch us. And if you don't watch us, you probably hear about us, and we'll be in front of you regardless. So, and I'm not worried about that because we're the shit.
Yo, I'll be honest, man. We could have kept this conversation going for hours, bro.
We can talk for hours.
We have talked for hours before.
But knowing the attention span of people, we want people to listen. So, obviously we're gonna have to, cut it here. But, bro, if you guys need any advice in regards to anything business related, hit him up. He's definitely willing to help you guys out. He's helped me out a bunch. He's giving me a ton of advice that,
Let me be very clear about this, though. I'm willing to help you out if you're willing to, do the work.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that's like, oh, I'm looking for advice. I'm looking for help. Don't reach out to us if you're not willing to do the work, because you're wasting our time. Let's just be 100.
Yeah.
So if you're willing to take what you have to the next level, or if you're looking to do the next steps of things, reach out. If you're not really sure, stay on the sideline and sit down over there.
Just keep watching. Right. No, that's
keep
beautifully
watching
said.
till you're ready. But if you're ready, reach out, because we're not babysitters. This isn't a daycare. Sorry. Just being
honestly, that's beautifully said, man. There's a lot of people who like to listen, but then they don't apply it, and then your time gets wasted.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we've had a lot of people that just, I have an idea, or I want to do this, and it's like, how much are you willing to put up? Are you willing to put up your time? Are you willing to put up some effort? Are you willing to put some equity? Figure those things out. But if you're someone that's really serious about what you're doing, or you have a real question and you're really looking for real results, then reach out. Let's be honest. Then reach out. If you're not, keep watching YouTube. Find some stuff that matters.
Hey, YouTube University, man. How many people has it helped? Millions.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, what's up? So
appreciate
Ralph,
you guys.
We appreciate you being on the show, man. It was definitely a good episode.
Yeah.
You're always welcome back.
You're welcome back, bro. We'll plan on filming some sort of outside content as well. That's something that we've been working on too. And hopefully
loafers. I just want to put it out.
I'm gonna put a poll up saying who wore the loafers better, me or Ralph?
Stop it.
Should we put Nick in there?
Nah.
I'm just kidding.
I ain't doing it for fashion.
Hey
sense.
man, hey, I'll put a poll up, man. Y'all better vote me, all right? I'm just saying.
All right, so that's episode 29, man.
In the books, man. In the books, man. Thank you guys for watching again. Make sure to. I didn't say this in the beginning, but like and subscribe. Like and
I like
subscribe.
how he puts his fingers there like he's gonna put a button right there.
Because you know it will be literally right here. I'm going to put it again. I put it twice for y'all, all right? 2 times for y'all. Make sure to leave a review. It'll be greatly appreciated. It costs what? $0. It's free.
Free 99.
Free. We don't ask for money
What
at
I'm
all
going to say
from
about
y'all.
this, I'm going to add this,
Yeah.
is that if you really want to support your friends' businesses or your business, pay full price.
Pay double. I paid
look,
double
like,
before, bro.
Like, if you really want to support your friends, pay the fucking price. Like, just pay it. Pay it. Because nothing says, like, I appreciate the work that you're doing than paying for the shit.
And leave a review.
If you can't afford to leave a monetary donation or income or, you know, give them revenue, just do things that are free and easy. Yeah. So support Toast to the Goodfellas. Like, leave a review, share this, and don't do it for me. Do it for them because, you know, they're doing something that you're not. And that's the truth.
And that's
Shout out to y'all.
All love to you, my brother. We'll link up soon. We'll create some content together, man. Can't wait for the future, bro. Cheers, bro. Dollar, bro. Episode 29 in the books, man. Thanks for watching.
I'm not
cheering again. I'm lit.